Hey, this is DJ.
This is Kaz. We're Buried Above Ground,
And this is Speak of the Devil podcast.
Greetings from Podcastville. It is episode 31 of the Speak of the Devil podcast. Here we go. So tonight, get right into music. Not too much interesting topics, except probably the most hilarious and I guess everybody can go, is Motley Crue is doing another farewell tour. But the funny thing about that is Mick Mars was actually on That Metal show, I think right before it ended, when they were doing the last reunion show, and said if they ever did it again, they guaranteed that everybody would get free tickets. So the funny thing about this is right now, before all this happened, there's been this little tiff between Steel Panther and Motley Crue. Nikki Sixx doesn't really have much respect for Steel Panther, thinks, they are kind of what they are, like the Spinal Tap of heavy metal kind of thing, even, of hair metal, let's put it that way. And it's kind of like disparaging of, everything that they did and all that stuff, which, who cares if the songs are fun and people are having fun just like at their shows, but whatever. So then all this is coming out. So now, like, all of the Steel Panther guys are, like, trolling all of those guys on Motley Crue on their social media accounts. Sticks It In Ya's, he's been the most crazy one. He wants to go backstage. He wants to see him. Needless to say, Steel Panther is banned from any of the Motley Crue getting back together again for the Money tour, which is interesting because Eddie Trunk was talking about this, and it's an interesting question. Can you actually name one band that ever said that they were having a end farewell tour and stuck to it and really never came back? I mean, in my mind, the closest you have is Rush, but they didn't say it was a farewell tour. It just was the last tour. It just happened to be that way, and everybody kind of knew it. They didn't bill it as being a farewell tour. So, everybody's farewell touring. It's everybody's last tour until the next one. So I guess that concept's getting a little stale, but it's just funny that Motley Crue, put their foot in their mouth a little bit, by saying, oh, we would never do this again. And if we ever did, we'd give everyone free tickets if we did it. So we'll see. I guess maybe it'll be a free ticket show for all of us. So that'll be fun. And, but then on a more serious and positive note, actually, been some good progression with Dave Mustaine, the lead singer from Megadeth, that his recovery's going better. Put out a healthy picture, and I guess right in front of the holidays and Thanksgiving. So cool. I mean, now that they're Grammy Award winning, as they should be band, hopefully the next album, which I think is done, and I think they were just kind of waiting for him to get better so they can actually go tour on it. That's going to be a crazy cool album, so can't wait for that. And that is it for music. In video games, oh man, earlier I got a chance to play probably one of the most visually impressive games I've ever seen on the Switch to date, which is Hellblade. Just looks gorgeous. I mean, most things that are using the Unreal Engine 4 do look good anyway. I mean, it's kind of hard, but I mean, it really does, especially on the big screen, it really does look really almost like, I mean, like a PS4 quality. There are a few textures that seem like they're a little bit low in some areas, but for the most part, it's really solid. So I haven't gotten too far into it, but it definitely, seems like the crazy thriller that, I'm hoping it to be. So once we finish that, we'll come back and give a review on that. But for now, initial thoughts are it's pretty fun. I know it's been out for a long time and a billion people play, but I always like playing like games that are like pushing the hardware, like Switch, like this. So, and then another cool thing that's coming out is it's actually out, and hopefully this holiday season I'll pick one up. Is the SNK Arcade Stick Pro, which is interesting that it's a full arcade. It's got all the clicks. It feels like a Neo Geo arcade stick should. But it's nice that it has 20 built-in games with it as well, so you can instantly... They're all fighting games, but you can hook it up. The video is better than the Mini, but what's great about it is you can actually plug it into the Neo Geo Mini and then use that as the controller for the Mini. You still have to use the video output from the Mini. You can't take advantage of that console's, higher res 720p image, but... it's nice that you can actually still kind of combine the two, expand the games, make it a little bit more fun. So that review might be a little bit later because they're hard to find. And, if I get one, I get one. And then we'll kind of maybe do a little unboxing and showing of that. But that's going to be very fun. And even though it's not video games, Disney Plus is launched and The Mandalorian is out. And... the first 3 episodes at the point right now that we're at are out, and without any spoilers. It's very interesting. It's turned what you thought was going to be the focus on The Mandalorian, which it is, and it's kind of now put the focus on another character that you wouldn't even have thought that they would have done, and is actually making the story that much better because now these two characters are kind of playing off of each other and you want to kind of see where this is going to go. So very well done. I mean, I don't mind that, the helmets don't come off. It's, and it's loosely tied to Boba Fett or whatever. Who cares? They're going to tie into that nostalgia. That's just what they do. But it's still pretty well done. So, highly recommended The Mandalorian. And that will do it for video games and sci-fi nerdery. And that'll bring us to some macho man kind of nerdery, which would be wrestling. Last night was NXT TakeOver War Games. Very cool that they use the old 2-ring next to each other concept from WCW War Games and, have that whole elimination, type match. But for me, obviously, the biggest match was, Finn Balor, coming back for his first match back in NXT. Now as a heel, kind of taking on the Prince Devitt kind of persona a little bit, which only leads me to believe that, especially when he won, he was doing like the Bullet. So, and AJ Styles and the OC Club, they've already been, kind of trying to court him back. So it's only a matter of time before that faction, exists, for real in WWE. So it's nice that they're setting it up slowly and they're going to put the pieces together. But he looked good last night. It was a nice back and forth match. And tonight actually is Survivor Series, which, by the time this is posted, it'll probably be over. But, I'll just go down through some predictions here. So we have WWE Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio. No holds bar, no disqualification, no way that Rey Mysterio wins. That'll just be they might have a good match, but he's not going to win the belt. Maybe, that'd be funny, but I just don't see Mysterio having that kind of pull and stay in it. I mean, it would be a quick turnaround even if he did. If he does win it, they'll turn it around and lose it tomorrow. But my prediction is Brock Lesnar on that one. Universal Championship, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan. Absolutely The Fiend, 100%. He's going to WrestleMania, probably to fight Seth Rollins, so that's a lock. Let's see. Mid-card champions, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Championship. And yeah, they changed it again. They have changed the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I don't know if this is a response to Cody Rhodes, because Cody, they had like a 2000 version of the Intercontinental Championship that they used for a long time. It was this real thin little belt. It didn't look very good. And then when Cody Rhodes won it like 10 years ago or something, he brought back the classic, Ultimate Warrior, Mr. Perfect 1980s Intercontinental design that they've been using until literally last week. So now they've announced this different design, and it's like it's bigger than what it was, but now it's just so generic. It just doesn't have that classic feel, and so we'll see. So that's gonna be on the line tonight. So it'll probably be the debut of what that belt looks like or whatever. I don't know. I wonder if Shinsuke actually walks out with the old belt or the new belt, because he never lost it. They just announced a redesign. So I bet he'll probably walk out with that tonight, the new one. Men's tag team, the Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus the Undisputed Era. Yeah, another SmackDown of brand champions. Pits the brute force of Viking Raiders against the herald accolades of New Day against the New School Attack from two of NXT's most dominant stable. There's your quote from the headlines right here. On that one, I'd probably say I'll go for the Viking Raiders. Elimination Survivor Series match. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Ricochet versus SmackDown. Roman Reigns, King Corbin, Ali, Shorty G, and Braun Strowman. And to be announced, NXT. Raw's going to take that. They got Rollins. They're setting him up to go against The Fiend, so they're going to keep him strong. Let's see, NXT champion Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne. Adam Cole. And let's see, NXT cruiser Lio Rush, Angel Garza. I don't really know those two very much, so I'll say I know a little bit about Lio, so I'll say Lio Rush. So those are the predictions, and that is it for episode 31 of the Speak of the Devil podcast. We'll see ya next week.